Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Chase, recently penned an op-ed for us titled "The West Needs America's Leadership." The article was also a springboard into a lively interview with Maria Bartiromo for the Fox Business Channel.
So if I didn't know you for so long, I would think that maybe you're running for something with this op-ed. No. Are you looking to run for public office?
First of all, I wrote that because I think we need all those things for another century of American leadership. And I also make the point that America has to lead for Americans. If we get these things wrong, particularly growth and global diplomacy, et cetera, it would be bad for all American citizens. And I think we could have been growing at 3% a year. And I point out in there that would have added 15,000 per person over 20 years. We've grown at 3% versus 1.7. So no, I'm not running for president. I just think it's important we support rational and comprehensive policies.
Well, a few years ago, you said that you could beat Trump. Do you still think you could beat Trump?
I'm not going to answer that question. I don't think there's a path for me to become president. So.
Okay. What about the Treasury Secretary? We understand Janet Yellen is on her way out. Have you spoken to the White House about taking that job?
I've not spoken to anyone about that job.
Would you want that job?
I am very happy where I am.
So what should the new Congress be focused on? What should their priorities be?
Competent policy. I mean, we need competent policy. And I'm not the type that, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, and I want them both to succeed. I'm a patriot. I want my political leaders to succeed, but we need very competent policy, which we have not always had in education, healthcare. So we have some of the best in the world. We have some of the worst in the world, lack of transparency. We spend too much money. We have too many sick people who could be helped with wellness programs. I think we need infrastructure, so we started that. I think that's a very good thing if we spend that $1 trillion right. I think the IRA, we have to spend the money right. Immigration, we need an immigration policy. We need to stop illegal immigration. We need more legal immigration. And then I would have a heart for DACA and things like that. So if we do those things right, we're going to grow at 3%.
Another policy issue that was discussed and of much interest to readers is environmental, social and corporate governance, or ESG.
Please answer with a simple yes or no. Does your bank have a policy against funding new oil and gas products? Mr. Dimon.
Absolutely not, and that would be the road to hell for America. Ukraine has pointed this out. We need secure, reliable energy, food, and not just us, every country. And when gas prices and oil were too high, all that happened is coal plants were being turned on. CO2 got worse, countries are panicking, and the energy supply is precarious. So my point is, look, I believe we should be doing things about climate and CO2, but it's not a simple thing like just stop financing them. So if I can stop financing a good oil company, that isn't going to help. What we need is pipelines, permits. So we can't even get the permits to build solar. We need to get a pipeline to get gas down to Louisiana so they can ship it to help our allies in Europe. So we need very comprehensive policy, and I don't think we have that right yet. I think we're spending too much time just yelling and screaming at each other as opposed to what do we need to accomplish these very important goals of climate, sustainability, and resiliency, and efficient and effective oil price and delivery.
Another topic discussed, for which we've had a recent editorial, is the hard reality of a debt ceiling showdown.
There's a debate right now about a bill that's going to come to the floor later on this year about raising the debt ceiling. Should we be raising the debt ceiling?
You have to. I mean, this is not, look, I understand why Republicans might want to use that to get some stuff. And I'm not talking about the fight before the debt ceiling. I'm talking about on the day that America can't pay its debt. That has potentially disastrous outcomes. And that means that once American debt goes into default, a lot of people can't own it anymore. And American debt doesn't cross default, but it's cumulative. The T-bill defaults, the next week T-bill defaults, the next week T-bill defaults, pension plans have to sell. It is so potentially dangerous, we shouldn't get anywhere near it. And after all the shenanigans of politics, we have to fix this. I think it's very bad for the nation to constantly be looking at this type of thing. Remember, we got downgraded over it. We should be a AAA nation, not a AA nation. So I hope we do the right thing here.
The interview ended with Mr. Dimon pressed on his priorities for 2023. Instead, he went on to highlight his bigger concern.
My real concern is the stuff in the op-ed. We've got to get policy right what's going on in this war right. We got to figure this out because it may determine the fate of America for 100 years.